Hello everyone. Been struggling with a headache all day and it's not entirely gone away. So I probably will not be streaming for the usual length, but I really want to finish up this smelting array for steel, so here we are. Now there is a couple of things that I should remember to pick up. Yeah. Good start to the stream. Be right back. I need to fetch. Normally I try to remember all the things before, but yeah. So, thank you for claiming first, Grandbuster, and I'm sorry to hear that you have a headache as well. It's not fun having a headache. And welcome, JP. I was popping into your stream, just lurking earlier today, but didn't have time to, or rather I was busy trolling Liam, which is important. And but what you were doing with those signs behind the windows that I was watching, that was pretty amazing. Might have to borrow that idea. And also, hello, Settlorian. Good evening, good evening. Pleasure to see you all as usual. Yeah, I was thinking about the VOD because as long as you have that enabled, there were many things you were doing there that looked very interesting, and I saw Cobalt had visited you as well, which is good. I saw a lot of chat going on there with her praising what you were doing. Well-deserved praise, I should add. You have a very creative mind, and that's something you should be very proud of. So what I have been doing off camera is basically I've cleaned up this area, made sure that there is power everywhere underneath the floor, cleaned up a little bit here, connected up the belts of these containers, and I also set up the lights on the train track going from the hub area and out behind everything and back to the, or rather out to the nitrogen outpost, which I don't know when we are actually going to need that, but it's nice to have it prepared at least. These are for temporary inventory management. Anything that I don't need at the end of this, I'm going to chug into this one and let it be eaten viciously by that grinder also sink. Also moved this and cleaned up all the crap that was here. Yeah. So the idea here is that I want this to be one building, but before we get to that part, I want to set up this array of smelters, or rather foundries, I suppose. Well, let's just continue with that for now. Needs to be there, and I believe that, I mean, the foundries have always been wonky when it comes to snap lines, but I think they have fixed some of that trouble. At least it looks like they have. Yep, they have. And that's 2 between, so we go forward again. Going to run out of stuff, aren't I? I hope not. I think I have enough to set up all of them. So except for Groundbuster and me sharing a headache, how is everyone tonight? At 30? And then we need 9 more. got 10 of each left. So I had enough. Tired but okay. Yeah. Being creative does make one tired. I know the feeling of that. Oh no. Oh dear. I've actually done this wrong, haven't I? Well, I haven't necessarily done it wrong, but I need to move... Yeah, I have to take these foundations out. Because this is supposed to be the glass foundations. Ankle seems to be hurting less today. Yeah. Yeah, when I broke my leg... it's actually 3 years ago now. About 3 years... Yeah, it's 3 years ago today that I got out of the hospital. With a new titanium rod inside of the femur. But several months in bed was not enjoyable, so I can sympathize. But I'm glad to hear that the ankle is hurting less. Brain is much more tolerable today. You got some pizza and made some tea. That sounds like a good improvement. Not much of a tea drinker myself, except for herbal teas. Cyborg Caledon 1.0 was indeed released from the factory. The only thing that I'm very upset with is that they didn't give me my own alcove to regenerate in. I still have to use a bed. And here I was hoping that I would go all Borg. Had a pin and a couple of plates. Yeah, that is probably a little bit less invasive than what they had to do to me, because they actually had to... okay, I probably shouldn't be too detailed about this, but let's just say that, in case people are queasy, they had to insert the Titan rod through through my hip. And I'll not go into details. I'm sure that people are able to figure out the details outside of that themselves. But I have 4 bolts, 2 near the hip area, or rather 2 that is going into my hip, that's holding the rod there, 2 just above my knee. I think those bolts are unnecessary now, because the tissue should have grown to the point where the rod inside of my bone marrow, the bone marrow should have regrown now. You were awake throughout. I'm very glad I was not awake throughout the surgery. There are certain sounds that would be involved that I'm very glad that I did not have to listen to. Malarian is also confused. Now that makes sense. Try Bold Viking, by the way, Groundbuster. I know he's using Docker, but he's probably not using pfSense. But he should know pfSense. I mean, he's quite technically adept. In my surgery, when I had broken my femur, I would have to be under general anesthetic, regardless of COVID concerns. It was a major surgery. Yeah, I was watching a little bit of JP's stream as well, but I was also very busy trolling Liam in his stream, so I couldn't participate, sadly. Do I want to have this as a manifold? Yes, I think I do. 4 hours. Yeah. Yep. Coal and iron ingots. Though, I think I want the manifold to be the other way around. Little tight for space over here, whereas on the other side I have ample space due to the floor underneath being wider than the one up here. Didn't I No, I didn't. Rashafa, welcome, or Ow! I might have to sneeze. There's a general sense of potential sneeze incoming. Let's do some shoutouts first, shall we?
Asshole.
Good click. No. I grew up with a dog, a German Shepherd. The only animal that I'm allergic to is the Angora rabbit. Is that what it's called in English as well? The very fluffy rabbits that have lots of fur that they make, or they make sweaters and stuff out of the fur. That gives me a bad rash.
Like, I really like the landscape. Like, the artwork and stuff is really neat. That's kind of one of the selling points of this game, I think. So not having any of that there seems like kind of a bummer. But it does seem like it would give you an interesting challenge.
That is an old clip, Cobalt.
So how do you place your first foundation?
It's a stream sound. Yeah, I'm also all over the place. I have the yek sound. That's in several other streamers' sound effect list. And also something else that I don't remember. I think I'm going to go up 3 and 4. Insert lamenting about not having smart here. Speaking of which, I haven't checked if they've actually updated the mods. No. The mod manager. Last updated 13th of July. No, they have not. Well, I shall suffer onwards without it. Oh, yeah, I actually forgot to reply to that. Please do share. Because if you've managed to fix that, I am more than a little bit interested, to put it mildly. I don't want to take the cable. Thank you. Thank you for the consideration. I am deeply grateful for this. Okay, on this one... Okay. I shall be patient. On this one, I have to go up 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6. Ugh, I hate having to go up 5 and 6. Frame pillars to put splitters and things on. I'm kind of going by the logic that the lift is kind of supporting the splitters and mergers. I wonder if there's some way I can avoid having to go up. That's not the right position. 5 and 6 here. You delete the frames off. Oh, you mean by just putting down these? Instead of having to build oodles of them, you just put down foundations and just put them at the correct height and then delete the foundations afterward? That's what I do with pipes, actually. I don't know why I haven't thought of that, but I guess I'm so used to doing it this way then. Anyways, as soon as Smart arrives, this won't be a problem, because then I can just build all of the splitters at the same time in one go. Small pillars, but doesn't that mean you have to... Doesn't that mean you have to build many of them? I think I have to see this in practice. Okay, now the thing here now is that at this location here, I need to merge in a new belt. Because one belt of iron and or coal, I'm just using the beams there as placeholders for my mental thing. That's 600, yeah. So one belt of 600 of each is enough. For 15. And I have to do some balancer splitting to get the final 360 to the last row. Should be fun. But then I have a tab open in Firefox with how to do balancers and splitters. And I have ample space out here to do that. It doesn't really require that much space. But I'm wondering, I can't go underneath because there are lights there. And I don't think that I will have enough room to run the belt in this way. And besides, those belts are going to be at a different height. I could. I mean, there is actually enough room. Because there is enough room to run a belt. Or is there? Now I'm going to have to build a fairly tall bus here. Yeah, there's a lot of humming going on here now. Because I need room for the steel ingots as well. I'm wondering if I should take the steel ingots out on the other side. Suspend from ceiling would be some... Yeah, that's going to be an issue as well. But that's not really an issue because 60 times 10 is 600, so I get 600, 600, 600, and 540. But if I run the belts that way... It's too far up in regards to suspending them from the ceiling. If I had another level, then that might work, but... What room do I have over here? Come down here and then turn around here. I need another station for steel. It's actually going to go that way. And handling enough is going to be on this. I can have in height 3 and height 4, and then I can again have height 3. Yeah, I can do that. Let's set up that, and then I can see if I can soft clip the belts. The game would be very kind and not flip these around. Okay, flips it around at the flip I need it, so it's fine. I think that's the main reason why I prefer to use Smart with the splitters and mergers. Because it... Where did I go wrong? All the way over there, of course. Because it means I don't have to worry about the freaking splitters and mergers flipping around. I also don't have to worry about what I just did. Failing to align. Okay. Let's remove all of the extraneous mergers and splitters. And it doesn't really matter if I leave, if I remove. If I have to use level 4 and 5, that's not going to be a problem. I mean level 5 and 6. Because I can just put the additional splitters on top of that. As in, on top of the ones that are there already. 47, 49, 50. Oh, I actually had a little bit of lag there. That's not something that I'm used to. Spoiled as I am. One. If I have a belt, zoop, coming here, say I take that to there. Ah, that makes sense actually.
Not all who wander are lost.
Thank you so much for the follow, Dr. Devil66. Or Dr. Deville66 probably. Dr. Devil sounded good though. And welcome to the channel. I flip a belt like that. works. How about the level below? Let's put up 2 belts and see what it... The game should at least understand that if I'm coming from this angle, I don't want to connect to the backside of the thing. Well, that works. I am building a steel smelting here, using the solid steel ingot recipe. So I have 39 foundries. Crap. I also need to I need a 5th train station up there. I wonder if I should just ignore that copper station, or that copper node down there, and use that one for iron. And if I need the copper later on, then I can take it out. That actually does work. I am not discontent with this solution. Let's just put those there so I remember where I need to place them down. And where are my beams? They are here. Although, will I be able to... They are going to add that into the base game at some point, thankfully. But do keep in mind that the mods doesn't work on the experimental build. And it could take a week or 2 after they release experimental onto early access before the mods work. Just so you have that in mind. That does look to be correct. Which means that this one should be here. Yes. Yeah, that does work. How far away is that thing? Oh, of course it's too far away. Why wouldn't it be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3. Hello, G Fairy Gaming. Welcome. I've had a headache all day. Still not entirely gone, but it has definitely improved. So I'm just continuing the work from yesterday. I can easily understand that it took some time for me to get used to the enemies in the game as well. I actually built that in the wrong location. Thank you. It's almost gone, so hopefully I am should be gone soon, I hope. I would have been starting the stream earlier if it hadn't been for that headache. Where I wanted that thing is here. Because I wanted to have a somewhat symmetrical appearance. A little bit of anal retentiveness has never hurt anyone, has it? How did I... Okay. Yeah, I've already taken some codeine combined with paracetamol / acetaminophen, depending on your local country's naming scheme for that. I have no idea what that lift actually... What is it trying to... Oh, never mind. It's trying to connect to the splitter. Good evening, Addicted to Capping. Welcome to the stream as well. I'm feeling better now. Still got a little bit of headache, as I just mentioned. But it has mostly subsided. Otherwise, I would probably have been streaming for hours already. Thank you so much. How do I continue? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, fine. Yes, that's how I continue. I have to do a repetition of this. That's too far away. That is correct. Crappy work internet. Does your work allow you to stream? That's nice of them. This is so fiddly. If I get time, I can do it in this stream. Otherwise, I will do so. Oh. Well then. Tell your work that they need to up their data limitations and so forth. Otherwise, I will take a look at the progress of camera. I was planning on logging in yesterday, but I never got time. I have been playing this since just before launch, as Coffee Stain Studios were kind enough to give me a press key for it, and I have lost track of how much I have played the game, but I know that I have crossed 3,000 hours. But by how much? No idea. Might be nearing 3,500 actually. So yes, I've wasted a fair deal of my life on this game. But I've had fun, and that's all that matters. And besides, when you stream, it's almost like you're working at the same time. There's a benefit of that. Somehow I feel that something is not right here, but... Exactly, Cobalt. 4 GB of RAM? Geesh, that's... Ugh. I mean, I have 32 gigs on my rig here. And when I'm doing stuff in Photoshop and Premiere, I find myself wishing that I had 64. But now with the DDR5 RAM coming, I don't know if it's worth investing. Then again, DDR5 is probably not going to be mature enough for at least a year. And then, of course, it's the global shortage of silicon. That means that it's probably impossible to get a hold of DDR5 RAM unless you want to dish out an exorbitant amount of cash. But it would be nice to go from DDR4 3200 MHz to DDR5 5200 MHz, but I'm not going back to Intel. So it would be a massive investment for me because, and I agree, 2 years has been the usual amount of time it has taken for RAM, both in DDR2, 3, 4, to be mature enough. And since it's starting out at 5002, I expect that within 2 years we'll see 6004 to 7200 megahertz on DDR5. And yes, I have a Ryzen 9 5900X. But if I would then... So that's the investment thing. If I wanted to go to DDR5, then I would have to wait for the Ryzen 6000 series. I don't think my organs would sell for very much, Krashafa. I mean, I'm old. Then you have the 6000 series is not going to be working on an AM4. AMD is very definitely going to be releasing that on an AM5 socket, or whatever they will call the socket. So that's one thing. But the other thing was I would have had to buy a new motherboard anyways, since my motherboard does not support DDR5. So I would need a new motherboard, I would need a new CPU. I would probably... No, I would need a new CPU because they're going to move to a different socket. And then I would have to buy the RAM, and then... Yeah. That's probably $2,000 at least, equivalent in Norwegian krona. And I don't think that I will allow myself that kind of exorbitant investment after I, this year, or rather last year, bought the 5900X, the 3080 GPU, and the motherboard required for the 5900X CPU. All of those things were not cheap. But I was lucky in terms of the price that I paid for the CPU and the GPU, because I ordered them on the launch day for both of them, so I got them at MSRP. Which is kind of weird when you now look at the prices. I paid less for my 3080 than the going price of a 3070 today. Which is just absolutely ridiculous. Heck, even a 3060 Ti is not that far off what I paid for my 3080. Who, me? I hope it wasn't Krashafa that gave you an idea, because you're not going to sell any organs. Ah. Okay. Come on. Yeah, it is cool. Imagine how nice it would have been if we had a copy-paste function and could just mark the things that we wanted to copy the way that we mark them with a deconstruction tool. Are you using signs for your hypertubes? I believe that was the correct spot, and I also believe I can fly, of course. Touch the sky. Wait, these I need to... Do I? Yes, I do. 3, 4, 4, 3, I think. Also, one thing that I'm fairly amused about is the, speaking of signs, that is, the fact that the signs give off more light than a light does when you set it at the max emission value. I find that fairly amusing. Exactly. No, Cobalt, you would never be abusing that. You are far too I don't remember the word now. The exit is in the right location. I mean, power isn't that much of a concern, but yes, I do agree, because it would be annoying to have to pull power lines everywhere. What they need to give us is wireless power stations. I mean, clearly there is wireless power in this game, or in this technology. Otherwise, how would I be flying? Heretic I am! Yeah, I have to be careful with that stuff because the brightness on the signs is actually so bright that due to my eye condition, it's actually painful for me to look at them. Especially when they're white. Yeah, you know, the hover pack that I'm flying around with, the thing that's in the left hand over there, not the sword but the other thing, that's, you can also see the wireless signal output on it, the 4 3 2 3 4 5. That's how well or how good the signal is in terms of power, because it hooks up to the these. You can see these little light saps that come out of these that is now transmitting power to me wirelessly so I can fly. So since we have that, I mean, we should be able to power things using wireless power, because this thing requires, what is it, 100 megawatts? Yeah. So I'm transmitting 100 megawatts wirelessly to this hover pack that I'm flying around with. I would not be doing that in real life. Imagine knowing that you were connected to 100 megawatts on your back. Barbecue Caledon indeed. Rapidly barbecued too. And I do imagine that there's a fairly high amount of amps involved in powering this thing that I have on my back. Well, we don't know that, do we? Now for the fun bit of connecting up these. It is more easy if I connect up the backs. The one in the back, not the back side. First. Very likely. I think that's one of the But that's with our technology today. When you have wireless charging on phones and stuff like that, you are wasting electrons, obviously. But I don't know exactly how efficient it is. I'm a bit wary about wireless power transmission, to be honest, in regards to things like risk of cancer and things like that. Since we do know that, for instance, living underneath high voltage power lines for a long time does cause a higher risk of cancer. Due to the very high levels of electromagnetic I kind of want to say radiation, but it isn't really radiation, is it? What have I done here? I have no idea what the Texas sharpshooter logical fallacy is. But if they have since... God, they have since debunked it, that is good. Especially for the people who do live underneath those. Interesting. Yeah, well, that does make sense, actually. Good evening there, Pumu. Welcome to the stream. I didn't mean to connect up the mergers yet, but I need to tear those down again. At least I know that they are. That is something that I can very, very readily agree to. Matter of fact, we are quite bad at understanding things in general when it comes to a lot of things. A healthy dose of skepticism is always a good idea. Yep. I'm not going to try to pronounce what Buttspot just wrote there. Yeah, this is the only place that has ever been mentioned on the internet, Wally. Cheers. The only place all over the place. I like to say it in a more civilized manner, though. Or rather, a more elaborate manner, I should say. Let me find the quote. Oh, Tentacle Spot are my favorite. Yes, I'm sure Buttspot agrees. He does. No, I like to elaborate on it, Wally. People are stupid. They believe things mainly because they either want them to be true or fear them to be true. And that quote is scarily and even eerily true. But it isn't British, it's an American author. Mm. Wait, yeah, but still? What? I have no idea what you're on about now. Not that that's anything new. Need the foundations there temporarily. Not easy to understand you, Wally. You are an enigma. I'm pretty sure you're trying to troll me, but you need to be... You need to make sure that my tiny brain can understand your trolling for it to be successful. And in this, you have failed today. That's one line. Yes, you. Okay, that obviously isn't the right way, is it? Probably works better. I love how the sound effects just freeze while the game is autosaving. That must be fairly annoying for Andrew. Having to listen to that burning sound for 5 minutes. Speaking of Andrew, I was very disappointed with his reaction, Cobalt. That could have gone better. He didn't even comment on the relevant part. No, I do not want a tentacle there. As if the game has picked up that I'm a Lord of Tentacles. That... Sigh. Stop making tentacles. There? Usually I connect the belts from underneath, because the hover pack has a drift that makes it slightly annoying sometimes to fine-tune. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, it doesn't really matter now because I'm not going to start messing with hypertubes until I'm done with this at the very least. But very much appreciated. And done. These were the belts. Now this thing is set to produce 600 per minute now, right? Yes. These... 600. Are these smelting? Yes, they are smelting, and they're actually done smelting. They are producing exactly 6... Wait, did I connect up all of them? That probably wasn't a good idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've connected up all of them. That doesn't work. These final 6 should not be connected. Because I need a Mark III miner up there first. 20 of these should be producing, yeah, 20 times 30 is 600. Oh, this should be interesting. I need to get that belt all the way over there. Suppose I could make a contraption going over there, but... That would have to be there. And I think that would clip into the miner at that level. Test it. No, it doesn't. Well, that solves that. Because this should give me 90-degree angle turn. It does. Very convenient. I think I want to have that there actually. Then 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Probably isn't all that far off from where I wanted to go up actually. These belts cannot handle 5. Where do I want this to come up? I think that might be close. To have to do it. They are going to convenient place actually. Yeah, I need them to come up here. That one. Oh, it's because of that. That one is going to look different. Eh. Okay. Do it like that instead then, to look similar. And the finished screw on top of it. There. I could take them up there. Could even take them up there. Yeah, I'm gonna take them up there. Giving me the shadow underneath. They didn't become similar. But at least it is here. I think that is correct. Yes. I need to get that to be bottle. You've been playing all day then. Glad you're having fun. Really have to do that? I don't want to do that. Thank you for lurking, Wally. Come on, I want to have that visible. I probably can, but keep in mind that in a multiplayer environment, I'm not very concerned with neatness. What is important in a multiplayer environment is not so much the build style, but that people have fun. Why am I turning it around? Except of course, if could be, that's why I'm turning it around. Otherwise it's going to look weird. This one needs to stop there. And this one needs to stop here. These are not needed. More these. Coal will be coming in on the back side. They said something about how it would be easier to connect the lifts, but I'm not feeling it. At all. And then I want to have a splitter here. The conveyor holes are, shall we say, moody? Does that connect? Does. If you're not feeling it, try something else. And we also need a splitter here. It's a satisfactory thing, JD. It's a satisfactory thing. You'd be surprised. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and you guys can have a look at the shout out for JD Place, who is a fellow member of the Red Circuit stream team. I will return very shortly.
We're gonna shoot you in the head. And... oh crap! Who doesn't reload their shotgun?
Who wander are lost.
Who can't aim shit?
Shut up. It's fine.
I'm going to make a wild guess, JD, and say that you can't reload the shotgun. And I guess your belts behave differently than my belts do. And then again, you would not have any issue building a belt like, say, this, for instance. Whereas you won't find belts like that in my factory. And that's probably why my belts are a little bit more moody than yours. What was it you said? I think it was, I don't care. Which gave me a very good laughter here. It amused me more than it probably should have. Okay, so the other belts. Yes, exactly. Some people might be triggered by that, others might not. I personally don't get triggered by it. But I do prefer when I build my own factories to build them with non-clipping belts. And I take responsibility for being a weird person, spending all the time to make things look organized. Yeah, what I want to do now is actually connect up this stuff. Yeah, I like that rule. I find it highly amusing. The thing is, if we actually went by that rule, all of us, imagine how efficient we could have been. So I'm not opposed to that rule at all. But when you want to build buildings, like I'm doing here, on this map, like the one up there, you kind of need to adhere to at least some kind of organization on your belts. I played the game so much that architecture and things like that has become important to me. But I don't think I'm going to go all full-scale crazy, like, or insane rather, like, for instance, Andrew. How many fuel generators is in Andrew's build, Cobalt? I cannot remember. 2,200 something, isn't it? 2,500, Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. One of the things, rather, it would be fun to do something like that. But I would struggle greatly if my FPS went below 75-ish. I guess I could tolerate 60, but... I actually do. Yeah, Factorio is a little bit different since it's 2D, but when I'm watching Bold play in his Pionodon space, that can be, because of my eye condition, it can be, gives me eye strain, if that makes sense. Right, these things need power. That might be a good idea. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to click this solid steel ingot because pressing Ctrl V is annoying. For some reason, the lower the FPS, the more strained my eyes become. One of the benefits of getting old, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, I actually bought 165 Hz monitors so that I could get a high refresh rate. Getting old indeed. I'm nearing the magic number of the answer to the life, the universe, and everything. It's 2 months away now. But yeah, one of the reasons why I have such a high-end PC is actually because of my eyes, because I need it to be able to use the PC for the amounts of time that I do use the PC. I'm not going to bother with ceiling power for these. On the corner of the little thing. Yeah, 60 does work for me, but it is definitely tied in with FPS. But it depends on the game. Like Factorio, in its specific style, that works. but Satisfactory, if it goes like below, like I can't watch Andrew for very long. I can watch Andrew for maybe 30-40 minutes before I have to just take a break from watching, because it's yeah, but keep in mind that when I've been in your streams, I have 3 monitors in front of me, one there, and one there, and you're usually on that monitor on that side, whereas I'm looking at the monitor there. So I have, and that means I'm glancing over and looking for maybe a minute or two, and then I'm back on the main monitor while I'm doing menial work in my own factory. It's nice to have you or someone else on the other monitor, just listening and taking a glance over every so often. But when but I also think that it's different, because when I'm playing the game myself, like what I'm doing here now, I'm being very, very focused, because I want that power pole to be exactly on the corner of the support. And I think that also has something to do with, because then I get very focused and I don't blink very much. So if the FPS is very low when I do things like this, there's another thing that is tied in with the FPS, which is the level of precision that I'm aiming for gets more difficult when the FPS is very low, because there is delay lag. So if I'm looking there, the game might think, or the game might actually be looking there, and then I'd have to rebuild the thing, which we've seen in, which I have seen at least in Andrew's streams, because he was very definitely connecting the belts to the point of the conveyor poles that he intended them to connect to, but then the game just decided that nope, he wanted to connect it at the backside, because the game was lagging behind in terms of what it was showing compared to what he was doing. You have a question, just ask the question. You know how it goes. Power connector there, so if I have a power connector here, and I put a power connector here, remove that cable, connect that to there, then that, no, not that one, there. That's a good one, Alex. Yes, of course you are allowed to stream from the server if you want to. The only thing that I ask is that you... yeah, that's exactly where I wanted the power pole. The only thing that I ask is that you make sure that you do not show the password to the... or rather the connection info and the password in the stream. Make sure that those things are faded out. Other than that, then by all means, please do feel free to stream from the server. Not an issue at all. I don't want people to come in there unless they have read the rules, because it makes it a bit harder to enforce rules if they don't know about them. Are you? Oh, you're there. Yeah, that's gonna be a little tricky. I don't know if the game will even allow me. Oh, it will. Barely. I appreciate you asking about that. Thank you. Huh? And what can I connect that to? I guess I can connect it to the lamp. Then I also want to make sure that it has power here. In case I cut the power somewhere else. What does... Okay. No idea. You just realized what Satisfactory is missing and why it's not really part of the factory building genre. Indeed, Gears. The worst part is I can't argue with you on that one. It does lack gears. Wait, maybe I should connect the power. That one is going to be tricky. From there into there. We don't want blueprints in Satisfactory, Alex. We want copy-paste, but not blueprints. Does this have power? We definitely do not want blueprint books. And thankfully Coffee Stain Studios has said that they are not going to implement that. It's one of the things that I feel... We do not have... we do have some copy paste. Like we can copy the settings of buildings and stuff like that. But if I could just like mark everything like this and then hit copy and then paste it, that would be useful when you're building large arrays of the same type of buildings. There is a mod for Satisfactory, which I don't know if it's being maintained, as in if it's going to be updated for update 5, but it does bring some rudimentary blueprint functionality into the game. But indeed, I do not want the downloadable basis, and there is a multitude of reasons for why I don't want that. It might be area actions, I don't remember what it's called. You can also do it with the satisfactorycalculator.com map, where you can actually edit and copy and paste stuff on the map. You can even give away the string to other people, and they can copy the blueprint that you've made into their own save game. So it is possible, but it is not a core... Skim, that's the one. And that, JD, is the exact reason why I really do not want blueprints in Satisfactory. No names mentioned or anything like that. But that is what would happen. And as a content creator of Satisfactory, it would be expected of me to make such things, and I don't like doing that, so... But I do appreciate the joke there. It is not lost on me, to put it that way. To me, this is not tedium, Alex. To me, this is zen. Exactly. Exactly, JD. As a person with anxiety, one thing that I can say is that Satisfactory is part of keeping my brain calm. Because I have to focus on the attention to detail. And that is also part of the reason why I'm building the style that I'm doing. I mean, the fact that it looks organized also helps in regards to brain stuff, but the attention to detail keeps my brain very focused on doing this. And if I could just download and copy that from others, I of course could have done the very active choice of not doing that, but I feel that the creativity that, like for instance, JD, or rather JP, which is Pobcac here, he has experimented with some amazing ideas, one of which is the lamp designs that I have on my railroads. And I saw his idea, and I built it, and then as I built it, I modified it to something that I felt fit my style of building better. And then that idea was tossed back to Cobalt, who in the Factory Friends Discord posted some pretty funky looking collections of the streetlights using beams and other things. And if we had copy-paste blueprints, I think we would lose a lot of that creativity. And that is exactly what Cobalt is saying there. It's one of the really amazing things about Satisfactory and the community, because the ideas are tossed around and nobody feels ownership to their idea. They are very happy about others stealing or borrowing their ideas and then improving the ideas, and then the idea gets tossed back, and then it's just an ever-evolving jumble and mass of brains and creativity that is well, to me it's really pleasant. And Satisfactory, the fact that it has that is part of why I really love the game and the community. We do have that in Factorio as well, thankfully. But there is... I mean, since the game is very established and we have some very large content creators in regards to Factorio, I'm not going to get involved in any kind of content creator drama, but those of you who have been following the Factorio community for years know that there is some tension among content creators there that is unfortunate. Okay, so I need another belt of coal, and I need another belt of iron, and the iron I need to bring in by train. So I think I'm going to repurpose that station right away. And it's the same for me there. I also like that people can build upon my ideas. because it feels like exactly what Krashava says. It feels like as if I've made some kind of contribution to their base. Yes. You're very spot on there, JD. And it's kind of sad that it is that way. I'm kind of hoping that I can get room for that building train on this track here. I'm going to have to move the gunpowder train. Big workout and wyvern time. I suppose we can combine those. For the legs. I had that when I made the like I had this major role on YouTube back in September. And the wyvern of the day is Niv. I made some character build tutorials for Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. And since the game has, I think I counted over 200 classes with the prestige classes, naturally there's a lot of different ways you can build your character under that system, Pathfinder. And I don't have the time to sit down and theory craft when you have all those combinations. So I found some very well written guides on Neoseeker, and I reached out to the author of the guide and asked if it was okay if I posted a video tutorial of his build, to which I got a positive response saying that that was not a problem at all. He didn't believe in copyright, which I was fairly amused by. But I made the video guides based on his build, because I know that people, I know that myself, in the day of YouTube, most people are too lazy to go look up a written guide. They would rather have a guide on screen, described with someone talking about it, explaining stuff. Well, I did that. And I had so many comments, outright nasty comments on those videos, telling me how I was a crap YouTuber, how the YouTube algorithm was crap for recommending my videos, because I didn't show gameplay, because I didn't understand what I was talking about in the guides. And my policy when I get that kind of comment on YouTube, unless it is like, I hate you as a person, you need to die, or something like that, I always leave the comments there, because I feel people are... Actually, no, Wally. I feel people are entitled to their opinions, but when you have to deal with 5 of those comments per day, it kind of takes the joy out of doing what you're doing. So the end result of that was that I stopped playing Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous altogether, because it no longer was any fun. Why should I bother continuing making a series when I got so much hate in my comment section from people? And I posted a rather lengthy comment in response to one of them, because I tend to respond to people. Post and ghost, yes. But when I see those comments, I tend to respond to them, and I respond to them politely, like telling them that YouTube is a big place, you will find the guides elsewhere, and also knowing that any comment is an interaction which helps in the algorithm. So it's not a bad thing that you get a comment, even if it is a negative one. But I posted a rather lengthy comment about, remember that content creators are also humans, and we have emotions. That is something that I've noticed that the internet hasn't been a good thing for when it comes to... people will say what they think. And they will not consider the fact that you have emotions. They will not consider the fact that they can hurt your emotions, because you are just someone random on the internet. And that's a bit of a shame. I suppose I could ask moderators to moderate the comments for me. But not a big deal. I will be back to YouTube again. But the amount of nasty comments I got on those guides was harsh. Human with feels, no say it not so. I must confess that I am JD. I'm very sorry to have disappointed you that way. Can you forgive me? Please? Don't send any 8-legged demons my way, please. Okay. Well, Tentacle Lord too. The train will fit in here. Perfect. Well, if it stops, that is. Brilliant. That is a good idea. If I only knew how to code an AI that could do that for me. Missing copper sheet? Really? I have some somewhere here. Why does the signal need a copper sheet? Signal doesn't work. The Lord of Tentacle thing might be slightly exaggerated. What's up with the They added the same thing that we have in Factorio. No, that's where I hide the tentacles. This is nice. They actually added segment block colors. I was wondering why the heck the train line was orange. This is really good. This is a massive... This will help people a lot with understanding the train system. I'm very, 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 very glad they added this. Seems to be quite a few. I can see that one is being repeated there. The green... No, that's a different green, so there's ample colors. That might not even be the same color over there. Might just be the distance. '96-way intersection. Yeah. This is unload. why I have that. Thank you for the lure, Cobalt. Is it now possible to get into that? Yes, it is. Why am I going over the train when I can just... I would say enjoy your meeting, but I'm not going to be that side. Yes. Worst thing is, I do not disagree. Making the tutorials does take time. But I should make a couple of tutorials for Update 5. Mostly be construction. Train name train. Would mostly be construction tutorial, I think. Cable. Actually, then station am I at? RDSER. RDSEU iron. Yeah. Yep. You're right. You're right. I'm not going to object. Save. Turn on self-driving. Stop. This platform needs to be unload. Where are you going? Oh, going there because I took the wrong station. This is going to be a pickup point for iron later on, but as of now it is a non-working station. Also, I don't know if you have any clips as of JP, but you guys want to see some pretty amazing stuff in regards to experimentation with architecture in Satisfactory, you should definitely go follow Bobcat, aka JP. The attention to detail there is sublime. Is that the word I can use there? I think so. Yeah. I hope you get that name back soon. It is confusing to have to call you JP and then Bobcat and then... But I can imagine it's confusing to you as well. Superb. Thank you, Wally. black powder station that I have over there, I'm going to repurpose that because I don't need to, or rather, I don't want to have black powder production here. I thought you were here to troll them. Northern Forest looks really, really pretty with the glowing acorns. Yeah, subscribing more than once. Nah. Or having to accept looking at ads all the time. I don't consider correcting my language being trolling though. I don't know if this platform is set to... Yes, it is set to load. I wonder why the path signals do that. But yes, we can hear you. Don't worry. It's all good. Do real life train signals do that? Ring incessantly. Or scream. Hi there, Mr. Taco. Welcome. I am better now than I was earlier today. I would have preferred to be like 4 hours into my stream by now, but my head decided that, nah, it's time to give him pain. Thank you for the lurk, Alex, and I assume you're going to bed, so have a good night's sleep. Oh. Yes. That is why I have no dick spur being very pointedly mentioned in my stream title, so people can feel safe that they don't get dick spurred here. Then again, can't avoid it, can you? Oh well. I think I'm going to need 2 trains bringing iron down here. Plonk. Because I don't think the throughput is going to be enough with just 1 train. So yes, I am going to need another train. This one would be useful to have copy paste on. go. Dump that. I think that this cargo wagon here is full. Platform. Almost. That is one thing that I wish they would add. Instead of having the platform decide whether it was load or unload, useful to have the train have that setting for a wagon. So that you can use one cargo station as, or one freight platform as both load and unload. Might not be something you would need very often, but there have been a couple of instances where I can see that it would have been useful. And splitter, that's a split. The iron comes from there, so it needs to come down. 3.3333 degrees. Are you doing your repentance and doing that in Celsius, Addicted? I need some power. I'm just checking to see that you're actually fulfilling your obligations. Because you said that you would repent, and then that means you have to do it in Celsius. But I'm guessing that you did, since you had the 0.33333 at the end there. Now this is definitely going to be too tall. My lord. Well then. I need 4 portable miners. Go. And then we need to place down miner mark 2. Apparently, since the mine is weirdly placed, I'm going to need 2 more of these with this foundation. And then I guess I can take the other belt in behind. Missing baby Borg cubes. I don't know if you're still here, JD, but this is how you avoid having to go all over the world to pick up stuff. You have a train with all of the things you need, and when you empty that out, you go back and you fill it up again. I vaguely recall you were complaining about having to go pick up things. If you haven't unlocked trains, my suggestion then is that you can whine. But I guess you're already doing that, so then I don't think I have any suggestion. Pick a better starting location. That would work too. I mean, there are a couple of starting locations in the world, which means that you don't have to go very far to do things. The one being at the Hexagon building there, or at the oil refinery, the Gold Coast. Someone called this the Gold Coast, but I disagree. I'm calling this the Gold Coast. But apparently this is also the Flaccid Isles. I don't know why it got that name, but I'm sure you can use your creative imagination. But down here, this is a very good starting location as well, because you have more or less everything you need in a walking distance. Like if you would starting in this black area here, you have 3 pure iron nodes, 1 pure copper node, 2 pure limestone nodes. Oil is just up there. Coal is just in here. You have quartz in the area, you have bauxite on the top here, you have sulfur in the... Yeah, you basically have everything you need. Caterium is just there. So this is probably the best starting location in the game. But you have to go there. So you, for instance, would have to start in the southern grasslands, down here, and walk there, or you would start in the rocky desert, which usually places you around this field here, or plain, and you can just walk down. You'd probably have to evade some enemies along the way, but you can just run away from them. But yeah, starting location is fairly important if you want to avoid unnecessary walking / running around. Yeah, you do have most of the things here. The one thing that you do not have, which you do have down in this area, is nitrogen. Because the closest nitrogen node that I have in this area here is either there, or somewhere down here, or in the Red Desert or the Dune Desert. Other than that, you have everything you need in this area as well, including sulfur, which I have down here. So this area is better for that one reason. You have nitrogen 2 in this area. Other than that, I personally would prefer starting down here. But not because I would have access to everything. But if I am to restart, which I probably will do at some point, I will restart down there. Because everyone and their grandmother is starting here. Understandably enough. But yes, large amount of digging around and very low ratio of building. You should also factor in the fact that you are several players. The more players, the longer you have to wait for things. It's kind of like Factorio in that sense. But it's worse here than it is in Factorio, actually, because things take a little bit more time here. And as I also noticed when you were streaming, you said something about how it was quicker to handcraft a couple of things, which is true. But in general, when you're playing on your own in a single-player game, you don't handcraft, because if you say you're setting up an array of that is very true. You have a very good point there. But if you're playing single-player and say that you need bore cubes, heavy modular frames, that would be these. They take 30 seconds to make with a standard recipe. So you set up the array, you let it start crafting. The same goes with steel beams. You set up the array, you start crafting, you jump into a vehicle, and you go hard drive hunting. And when you come back, you have a full container and hard drives for the man. Exactly. Hello, Glass Deviant. Welcome. So the experience of playing the game single player versus multiplayer, especially if you have many players, is kind of like in Factorio. But in Factorio, it feels different to me in Factorio, actually. Not that I've played a lot of multiplayer, but I did play together with Catherine of Sky and Exterminator. And that was back in update 3, I think. We had to end the series because the multiplayer was so unstable back then that I was hosting it, and neither of them could be... We had the base... We had the main base here, in this area with the lake that has coal. And there was a huge radius around the base, like the ring that I'm having here. That if they... update 2, okay. So if they entered that ring, the rubber banding and lag was just... Nope. It was unplayable. So the game has made some fairly huge improvements in multiplayer functionality since then. I need this to go further on, don't I? Why am I doing that? Because I'm silly, that's the answer. Do I even need that thing there? Can I just do that? I can. How many foundations is that? 8. Really? That's annoying. You're thinking of Darkstar, the mod for Factorio, Padri. Catherine and I did Satisfactory together with Exterminator. It's been a while. I don't even know how long that's been, but it's at least 3.5 years. No. Is it? Was that before or after I broke my leg? The Darkstar series were before I broke my leg. Full playlists. This was published, this was after I broke my leg, 6th of April 2019. There. No, that was a series that I did together with Catherine where we were using 5 dims. So that was only me and Catherine. I think that was before... She hasn't played Satisfactory since then. I think that was the last time. No! She had a co-op series with Avon, I think. Since, but that is at least a year ago. I'm not sure if that was a series of if it was just something they did together off camera though. I just know that they did play Satisfactory together. I hope you're successful there, Pumu. I have had my fair share of that lately, so I feel your pain. I hope you get to sleep. Oh my tentacles, that is unacceptable. that is actually a good point there. She does post a lot of series. But her audience seems to love it so. But I tried to keep kind of a similar schedule at some point. I think I had 4 concurrently running series, and it was just too much for me. There, game, there. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, I don't edit much either. I've always had the... I edit tutorials, but I don't bother editing regular Let's Play series. But the thing is, when you combine streaming with that, and then real life, I don't have time for that. I mean, to me it's difficult to even combine streaming and making regular content for YouTube. But then again, I am playing a game that takes a lot of time if I want to have progress in it, so that is a factor of that, I should add. Hole needs to be... It's the grill, so it's 1 away from... And that's not going to work very well. Matter of fact, that's going to be absolutely impossible to take it there. Does that go through the entire thing? Yes, it does. You have a point there, Krashafa. I mean, this probably wouldn't take as much time if I lowered my standards on what it looks like, but then again, we're back to the thing that I mentioned about how building this way makes me feel warmer inside my head. It's like an anxiolytic, is that the word that I'm looking for? Spaghetti is definitely faster, but it doesn't give me the same, pun intended, satisfaction in terms of internal peace of mind. I think that I think that I'm going to do that. I'm going to place the... It's going to clash with the rest of my train stations, but who cares? Again, a wistful yearning for smart. That's what I'm whining about, JD. Not having the mod that I want. Because with smart, everything is a lot faster to do. Even when you build my style. I could be building all of the foundations that I'm building now in one go with 2 clicks. My mouse. Stop that. There we go. I'm not going to hook that up to the platform until I have connected the belt down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I never remember what the distance is. Is it 3? I think it is 3. It is indeed 3. Then the turn. Turn is always challenging. I suppose what I could do in regards to the turn is just do that. Although I'm not sure if that'll work. Will. I want that to come down there. Do I have anything I can attach? Suppose I can do this. Although that's not where I wanted it, I want it there. That isn't straight, I know. So I'm kind of uncertain here. I actually think that I want to move this in to here. Then this should be there, I think. Definitely not. How about there? Yep, that's correct. Let's make the little knobs. I don't think they go through the floor. No, they don't. That isn't the spot where I wanted to come down, though. Oh, I need to move it 2 further on. Doesn't really make sense either. I need to test that before I connect. Go away. Why is... That doesn't seem to be centered. It might just be me. And I need that to be on... .4 meter height? I think. And then the elevator or lift or whatever you want to call it is coming up there. This one goes in there. It probably could have had this one further out if I want to have symmetry between the belts, but I'm not going to be that anal retentive. Now, power down there. Suppose I could use any of these silly walls for this. I could. If I do that, I don't think I want to do this, but just testing it, that would allow me to have a wall belt. But it will also leave a hole there. I'll come back. I think it's unlurk. Yes, it is. Either way, yeah, true. I don't think it matters if the bot thinks you're lurking or not. I'm not sure how I'm going to get power over there. I suppose what I could do is if I place a power pole there. I don't think that's the right spot for it. I think it needs to be there. Does that give me a straight wire? No, that is definitely not a straight cable. Anything but, as a matter of fact. That also isn't straight because the connector isn't... Okay. Fine, fine, fine. Be that way, game. Be that way. That is straight. I'm wondering, maybe if I just use a gate hole? No, the belt will clip in that as well. Not only will it clip, but the coal will also clip into the top of the gate hole. Vulkan worked better for me in terms of... I can't use DirectX 12 at all. I had weird flickering in the terrain for some reason when I was using DirectX 12, so I'm on DirectX 11 still. But I was using Vulkan, and when I used Vulkan while I wasn't streaming, the GPU usage was significantly improved. Right now with streaming, I'm on 82% GPU usage. If I weren't streaming, I would probably be hovering around 70. But with Vulkan, I was all the way down to 50. But the problem with using Vulkan was that the game crashed as the moment I started the stream, and OBS tried to capture the display, the game capture. Satisfactory just crashed, which is inconvenient when you're trying to stream it. So they need to refine those a little bit more. I don't know why they set DirectX 12 to be the default one, because when that is flickering on a 3080 on the newest NVIDIA drivers, that is not a good thing. But I use gain capture specifically. Your millage, I think it's mileage, may vary if you're using, say, display capture, which I don't like using because it's not that I have anything horribly private or anything on my desktop, but still, I like to know that what I'm showing on stream is what I am comfortable with being shown on stream. Tentacle capture is what you're using. Well then. Are you a fellow Tentaclian then? Welcome back, Ozzy. I like that declaration of return.
Not all who wander are lost.
Oh, if you're still here, Boom Butcha, thank you for the follow. And also thank you for the follow, Ozzy. I got that follow while I was on my bathroom break earlier, and I completely forgot about it. I heard the sound alert, but... short attention span, shall we say? Yeah, I don't think that's going to be very efficient. Oop. And it might be a good idea to actually connect the power to this one as well. There we go. And now we have to connect the iron. Oh. Yeah, that one is not straight. How utterly annoying. Oh well, I shall make it straight then. Much better. And I also need this for measurement purposes. Oh, and I think I got some iron ingots there. I did toss those away. And we're making steel. 2 rows of them. Vulcan is a hard no. You had similar issues? Then this has to come up. What graphical bugs are those addicted? This has to come up twice. I need 2 belts. I need... Oh. Actually, my... Times 60 is 2,340. 2,340 divided by 780 is 3 belts. That means I need another platform of steel. Well, I did intend to refurbish the station over here anyways, and since this station has a nothing platform here, I could always... No, I can't, because that means that as long as that black powder train is going in and out of this place, it will... It will start to load those items. I'm kind of wary of putting another platform here because of stacking purposes. Yeah, I'm going to have to take down the black powder station. I mean, this is an unload. That's fine, but... Valid. Which means that I have to go hunt down a train. He's in a very inconvenient position. Oh well. Has to be done. Look behind the curtain. I think behind the curtain here. I doubt it. The time is already 1:42 in the morning, and I really want to finish up the Steel Outpost before I go to bed. I think I'll have to do that the next time, or in the off time during the weekend. Mr. Maizena, welcome. Should do the proper thing there. Mr. Maizena is a member of the Red Circuit family. He's also very amusing.
Oh, yeah, it's live, it's live. Leave, get out. Oh.
Massive damage incoming.
I said, why did you fucking...
No, I was gonna grab the fucking green thing! It was in the way!
You fucking piece of shit.
We were supposed to remove everything from the room.
What did you do? Myself, what did you do?
Nothing.
He picked up the fucking burning TNT, which was next to...
I might have questions, but I'm not going to ask them. That seemed like an interesting game, though. Yeah, that's what happened with me with DirectX 12, Grashafa. I just couldn't have the engine enabled because, say here, I was looking down at the desert and it would be flickering all over the place. And I don't understand why they made DirectX 12 the default engine with that kind of issue still prevalent. I kind of figured that that would be people that you knew that you were talking or playing together with. All in due time, Addicted, all in due time. I like how the system here gives the train allowance into the... That I haven't experienced. That sounds rather horrible. Are you on an Nvidia card or an AMD card? Vulkan seems to be functioning better with AMD cards than it does with Nvidia cards. Yeah. Strange though, because Vulkan is a mature enough engine now that it should be working well together with Nvidia cards. So I'm going to take a wild guess there and say that the reason for the issues is Satisfactory. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Vulcan made it. Vulcan is made by AMD. Didn't know that. That's dedication. Making your own graphics engine. It's also interesting that it's actually licensed under the Apache license 2.0, which means that they have actually open sourced it. Then again, that is one of the things that I like about AMD. Too bad they can't write drivers still. I don't particularly like having to jump back and forth on drivers, depending on what game I'm playing. While I definitely favor AMD in terms of their business practices, I am not that fond of AMD graphics cards because I have had so much problems with those cards over the years that they're just a big no-no for me. Have a good lurk, Wally. Just have to wait for that to finish. Wish we could get higher speeds on the belts, but I don't think that is possible in regards to the engine limit. Oh, I haven't shouted out Wally. But Wally is also a member of the Red Circuit family. And I definitely can recommend his content as well. It has put me to sleep many a time.
You can't use the hyper tube because the power's off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Turn off a couple machines and I'll get the power back on.
And I can't use that either. Crap. Idiot.
Well, here, I got a temporary.
Mark 9 belts would be very nice. Yep. He was also playing together with good friends. Daisy and Phoenix, Almilana, and IT Machinist. One of the better clips from there is the one where IT Machinist is thrown half across the desert. They were building over there, and he was thrown half across the desert thanks to a snowball. I found that fairly amusing. This is going to take some time, isn't it? Or has this wagon loaded? No, this is going to take some time. I can... Well, I suppose I can deal with the belt. So one belt is going to go over there, and the other belt is going to go over here, which means that... Free ride. Yes, you could call it that. I'm going to have to do balance on this coming out of these. And I think that I want to do that now so that it's ready rather than having to fiddle with that later. Let's see here, balancers. I need a 3-to-2 balancer. Which is actually simpler than I thought it would be. You start your Satisfactory carrier on Sunday. How much power you need actually? Satisfactory carrier? Oh, career! Ah. Sorry. That depends on the level you're at. If you're building mega base, you're going to need a fair amount of power. I'm producing 27,000. My maximum consumption currently is 21.244, but the actual consumption is 6,000 because a lot of the machines are in standby mode because I don't sync products very much. So in the beginning, you're going to be fine with a couple of biomass generators. Then when you move on to coal, I recommend that you build 2 lines of power plants, which is 16 coal generators. That'll give you 1200 coal, 1200 megawatts of power, yes. And then when you get fuel, you can get a fair amount of fuel power. Each generator generates 150 megawatts, so I have a lot of them. 30 times 5, 150. I don't have any nuclear power at all currently. I actually haven't even unlocked nuclear power. Sorry, nuclear power. I am going to do that, but I've never actually done that in any of my saves. This is going to be the first time, hopefully, that I do nuclear power. Sorry, nuclear power. To do something with the power I have here because they are very inconveniently low. Cobalt, Krashafa, someone. How much power does a nuclear power generator actually provide? Because I have no clue. Okay, 2,500. The main reason that I've never built a nuclear, is because in my previous factory, I had so much power generated from turbo fuel that I didn't see the point. And I have a slight suspicion that that's going to hold true for this factory as well, so when I get to the point where I would be meddling with nuclear power, it would more be for the novelty of doing something new rather than an actual need for power. Then again, I have no idea. You haven't watched Star Trek, have you, Glass TV? It is nuclear, not nuclear. Nuclear. And it's nuclear vessels. With love, Chekhov. Okay, nuclear vessels. Okay. Nuclear. Okay, I get it. I get it. Why, thank you, YouTube. You're allowing me to rent or buy Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. I don't think I do. But I still like nuclear. Sounds amusing. Power done. Now for the actual splitter. That's the wrong one, balancer. That's the wrong one as well. I have way too many. How am I going to get room for that? The radiation is not a very big concern that I have, Tipperty. I'm planning to do... I'm not going to do plutonium reactors. I'm not going to burn the plutonium fuel cells. So I'll just make plutonium fuel cells and then sink those. Okay, this is going to be a little bit of a pain. This is the first one coming out here. I suppose I can be able or allowed by the game to take that belt here. And the other belt is going to come here. Which means that I'm going to need to have a splitter. No, not a splitter. Merger. Here. And I need distance between them as well. This is not enough distance. Here, here. And here. No, this actually has to be splitter. The first row is a splitter. Which means that that goes there. That goes there. This is going to be a mess of proportions. That goes there. And then I need 2 mergers. How far away does this have to be? I wonder if that's going to work. Because then this... I need to move this one further over. Note that I know that I need to move them upwards, but I'm doing just testing here now. I think it's just one away, so there. But I don't think that will work in terms of what I'm trying to do. I need to connect this one here. I need to build this somewhere else. Just to see what the heck I'm doing here. Okay, I have one splitter. Let's just build them on a power cable. One splitter there, one splitter. I might actually need quite a bit of distance here. Then merger, I need one there and one there. Now the first one is supposed to connect like that. Then to make things more interesting, yeah, that's where I'm doing. Because this has to connect to 2. How the heck is this even possible? Who's testing? Those two connect like that. All 3 of them need to connect to those 2 mergers. That mean... I think that's going to be too close. This has to be done in multiple layers, doesn't it? Yes. I need all 3 of these to connect into each of these. I definitely have to go 3D here. But the thing that I'm trying to figure out is how much distance do I need to have between the splitters and the mergers. Necessary, of course, because this one like that. This one I will connect with that. This one goes there. No, that is all connected. The 3 to 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. This is the correct setup. Oh, I think this is the minimum distance that I can do this in. Unless there is some very peculiar, pretty guide. Yeah, I can get this closer on both sides. Same with the lift. But if I build it like this, I also have the benefit of being able to do that. And width is not as much an issue as how tight it is. Because I need this to fit on one foundation like this over there due to the cliff. So I think this is the tightest I can, this is the tightest I can get it, because that belt is impossible if it is even one step closer. Well, it isn't impossible, but it's not going to be straight. It's going to make an S. So this is the tightest I can get it. I suppose I could have that one closer, but that doesn't really make sense. So if I copy this, and now here is another useful thing with the new beams. You can measure with them. 12 meters. 12 meters. And the other distance is quite simple because it is exactly 8 meters. But I'm not sure how far off the center of that one to there is 4 meters, and the center of that one to there is 4 meters, and the distance between them is 8 meters. Outermost. Does complicate things a little bit, but I'm now using sets here. I'll keep this to be those two there. This one. I think it's each have 3 inputs. Idea of this. Probably among the more fiddly stuff I've been doing. Oh.
My nondescript facial appendages quiver with anticipation every time I see you.
Hello there, Aussie Nuts, and welcome in Raiders, and lots of Red Circuit team members and family members as well. Thank you so much for the raid, Aussie. I'm desperately trying to figure out how to make a belt balancer.
Look at PJ's face. She come in all smiling. Did you guys see that? She smashed the door.
She's been smiling like the entire time. That character just smiles always for some reason.
Oh my god.
She comes in with a big cheesy grin on her face. Hang on, let me see. Where's that? Oh my god.
A 4-4 balancer does indeed seem a little bit unnecessary in Iron Wolf. So, I'm doing quite well. I had a headache earlier today. But other than that, I'm doing quite well. Other than my brain is about to start to go to mush due to this.
Alright, so change that up to item with tags. We'll see if we can make that work.
Wait. I know how I can do
sexy with your majestic body. Welcome to my stream.
That's probably the best clip I've seen from you, Bodge. That was just awesome. It doesn't take that much, but that's one of the better clips I've seen in a long time. My tummy. So if I go there, replace this one, and go there, and then I need to go down. Aren't you following Bodge? Must follow Bodge. 2, 4. I connect that to there, and I connect that to there, and then on this one I go down. Yeah, let's scan for some quartz. That clip was epic. Ah. I want that clip, Bodge. I want to know where to find it. There we go. This doesn't look complicated at all. This one is connected to the hip bone, which is connected to the something. Yeah. Now this goes there. And we can remove these measurement devices of mine. This is going to be an interesting thing to come out to whenever I take the hypertube. Well, the hypertube is going to go away eventually, but... And then that one goes there. Jesus Christ. I have made a monster. The Iron Man color scheme was a very huge coincidence. I picked a dark wine red that I liked, and then, as it so happens, golden yellow seems to or is a good accent color to that red, and I was happily playing along with that until someone pointed out that, hey, your base looks like Iron Man. I hadn't even considered it. So that's why. Are there any more of those hidden in there? I don't... Oh, there's way. Yeah, that was pure coincidence. It's, I think I did it in an actual stream as well. So I was not aware at all at the time. Now it's a matter of connecting this up to the train station above, which is always fun. That's quite handy, actually. Too bad Liam isn't here. He would have approved of the dad humor. I tormented him earlier in his stream with that humor. You would have approved if you had been present. And the other belt is going... My voice is just... Oh. Actually, I need to figure out where the hole is going to be. And I need to unload the train over there. This could potentially provide a little challenge, because that comes out at the very same spot as the other one does, doesn't it? But I think it should be all good. I think I can have the lift hole there, with the lift coming up like that, because they should be reversed. This train needs to die. Or at least be deconstructed. Yeah, it might help if I actually reverse the lift. That works. And that is handily enough in the middle of the little square. Yes, but they have changed the painting now. Instead of just having the color gun is gone. Thank the tentacles for that. So you have your Fix-It Factory swatch, which is the default for all of your buildings. So changing this will change all of your buildings' colors. Then you have the foundations, you have the concrete structure, and you have the pipelines. Then you have your 15 other swatches that you can modify. But then you have the custom one. The custom one is a very nice addition to the game, because what the custom one allows you to do is, if you want one building or one thing to have a specific color and not be affected by anything else, like in these, you just use the custom swatch and you paint the thing imaging with the setup. You can also save and load presets now. So you don't have to go around and remember these hex codes for the various colors that you use. You can just save them, preset name, load again, which is handy. They've also given us more materials for the foundations. You have the regular Fix-It foundations, you have concrete foundations, you have grip metal foundations, and you have coated concrete foundations. You have the Fix-It walls, the steel walls, and now you also have concrete walls. Then you have roofs, which is new in Update 5. This is the default Fix-It style. You have tar style, you have metal style, you have glass roofs, and the glass roofs actually gives you the ability to make glass ramps. Yes. Yes, indeed. This isn't a very convenient spot for it to come up, is it? Doesn't really matter all that much, but I'm gonna put some knobs here. And then to go... I'm fairly sure it is 2 out. Might actually be 3. I think it is 3, but... Oh, it's actually 1. Or is it? That is not straight. Why is that not straight? If I move it over there, it'll still not be straight. Oh there, Mr. Cops. I don't know if there's been any updates since I started streaming 3 hours ago. What's going on here? Why is that offset? Nothing since I started. Okay, thank you. Do it like that then. Of course I broke it. What did you expect? Did you come here for skill, Ironwolf? Surely you're not that naive. Don't. Tricked you. And that was one off from the center, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I suppose I put that there. 3, knob, mount, belt. The knobs that I put down there really that useful, but hey, how far is this then? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's almost 7, 8. So if I can attach the thing, I might have to trick this one as well, because it seems to have certain difficulties with, I don't know why I put that there. If I put it close enough, maybe it will give you the visual appearance of being straight. Yeah, that's good enough. Not really have to fiddle with it like that. Not sure why it happens. Not too close. Sure. Connect. I don't think I can put it one closer. So fiddling with it doesn't really help all that much, but just hover here. Yes, that would actually be quite apt for this place. That's too close, but this should work. I put the mount there. Yeah, that is exactly what I want. No, that doesn't work. embedding the whole thing in concrete. Now that doesn't sound promising at all. You know what? That's good enough. The only thing I could do to change this is to have it a little bit closer. To fool it, make the little offset even less visible, but I'm not going to bother. Yes. This is my caring face. Especially since I know that you're not really serious. This one is almost not entirely straight either, but just using short distance on the first one, and I'm quite content with it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. And there. I've had worse comparisons. It can be Snape. I'm too far there. However, it will be useful in placing the lift hole. It's also useful in the fact that I don't really need this contraption, because all I have to do is place down the lift, rotate it, hook up the belt, put it in there, and then find the magic pixel, this, do that, and this. And this seems to have emptied out, good. Move these belt pieces, and that, and the platform. Rename this station into Steel A. Control C. B. From overnight stream to jury selection all day, you're pretty wiped out. Yeah, I can imagine. You have a great night too, Iron Wolf, and thank you for popping in. Always a pleasure to see you. And then, yeah, I kind of forgot about that, didn't I? Although that is actually not a problem to fix. That's something that I should rather easily by just poking the entire thing down to level 3. Because at the time I was doing this, I didn't consider the fact that I was going to use a balancer. on. Belt. Not like that. I'm going to go down on ground level. And then it's one set. The other set is there. And never mind. The balance needed to be 4:2, and that doesn't even require much of a balancing thing. But it was fun to make a balancer, nevertheless. Right? I'm sure plenty of you are having a good laugh right now. Exactly. That was the first one. Anyone else who would like to laugh? Then please do feel free to do so right now in chat, because this is an excellent time to do so. But I built this glorious contraption. That counts for something. Ah, dear. I'm going to finish this off camera tomorrow. But at least I got experience with how to make a 3-2 balancer. Considering the fact that there are 4 belts coming out here. Anyhow, I'm going to wrap up there. So I hope that you guys were sufficiently amused by my, as always, confused building styles. Heck. Oh, it's a video. Right. We are going to raid Andrew. So if you want to see some really, really crazy stuff in yes, I'm sure you are, Wally. You should definitely stay in the raid. Fair warning, Andrew is using Dixper, so if you are prone to be put off by jump scares, not that they happen very often anymore, it seems, happily, thankfully, that is present there. But he's currently building a 629.4 refinery build, so that he can build a small iron plant where he will be producing 50,000 iron ingots per minute, which is 32 Mark V belts of iron ore, and an unknown number of water extractors and pipelines, because he hasn't specified that. Andrew is crazy, he's the very definition of insane when it comes to Satisfactory, and we all love him for that, because who would we turn to if not Andrew when we need to see what you can push this game to at its utmost limits? That is Andrew in a nutshell. So thank you all for the follows, thank you all for staying here with me. I hope that you enjoyed the stream, and I might be streaming tomorrow, but that will have to be a surprise in that case. Otherwise, I will be back on either Sunday or Monday. So in that case, if I'm not here tomorrow, I will hope that you all have a magnificent weekend. And that you all have a good time zone. So let me just raid command. Like so. This channel is intended for mature audiences. Yes. Anyways, have a good one everyone, and see you all next time.